Hi guys, welcome to Just Good Food. My name is Lynette if this is your first time here. So today I am making homemade rice and red beans. This is phenomenal red beans. It comes from my grandmother on my father's side. It's her recipe. If you don't know, I'm Puerto Rican, so this is gonna be Boricua red rice and beans. Okay, so I hope if this interests you, keep on watching. Okay, so I'm gonna name all the ingredients. So obviously we're gonna make white rice. So we have some regular rice, we have some bell pepper, we have a little bit of cut jalapeno. That's just a little something I like to throw in there. We have some diced up sausage. You can use ham, you can use pork chop, whatever you have. I have some bacon. I have some garlic, some onion, some more bell pepper because this one's to put in the rice. Pumpkin, of course. You cannot have Spanish beans without pumpkin. We have tomato sauce, sazon. This is another ingredient that you cannot do without. Put butter and oil in my rice. That's just the way I do it. I think it's really yummy. So I'm gonna start with whatever seasonings in the rice first. So I'm gonna put it on pretty much high because we're gonna boil stuff. Probably about 2.5 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons of butter. Then we're gonna add some regular oil. This is I think canola oil or vegetable oil. Any oil is fine. I would say maybe, depending on how much rice, but I would say that's about maybe 1/3 of a cup. Right now, while this is getting ready, the oil and the butter's getting ready, I'm gonna go ahead and add some cut up bell pepper. And the little ones that you see there is a little bit of jalapeno. As you can see, it's not much. I would say maybe like 1/2 teaspoon of cut up jalapeno and just a couple slices of bell pepper. It just adds a really good flavor to the rice. While my rice is getting ready, I'm gonna go ahead and start the olla, which means pot, for the beans. So I'm gonna pour in some olive oil. I'm gonna turn my heat to medium high. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the meat. This is bacon and sausage, whichever meat that you have, you go ahead and put it in first. So it's starting to get hot. We're gonna let this saute a little bit just till the bacon gets nice and crunchy and things start to cook, and then we'll add our veggies. So by now, the rice is ready to add our water. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my water. I'm doing 2 cups of rice, so it's 3 cups of water. So if you're doing 3 cups of rice, it's gonna be 4 cups of water. 2, 3. Okay. Now, okay, so the water's in, everything's nice and melted, it's looking good. This is where you want to rectify the seasoning before you add the rice. So, okay, so definitely need salt. This is just white rice, so I'm gonna go ahead and add salt. Now I like to do it with the palm of my hand, but you can do it however you'd like. That's kind of how I measure it. So I would say maybe a tablespoon of salt, and then just taste it. You can always put more, but you can't take away, so just be careful. The meat is starting to cook, so keep mixing it so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. Right now you have this on high, okay? Because we want to get the water boiling. Once the water boils, we're gonna add the rice. I'm going to keep mixing this so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. We don't want it to get stuck. If you need to add a little bit more oil, you can add a little bit more. And in Puerto Rican, well, in Spanish, this is called sofriendo. So I'm doing the sofrito right now. It's starting to smell really good in here, guys. So you're not going to let the bacon cook all the way, just so that it gets a nice little crispy texture before we put the onion, because if you put the onion with the bacon, the onion will release too much water and then it'll get soggy. The water came up to a boil, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the rice. This is 2 cups of rice. This is long grain, but you can add whatever rice you have. Now we're gonna mix it. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and taste the seasoning again to make sure we have enough salt. See if we need any more. A little bit more rice.
A little bit more rice.
I mean a little bit more salt. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. You lose some of the saltiness in the rice, so I would say go a little bit over. You can go a little bit over, not too much. You don't want to be too salty, but a little bit more. Okay, that's perfect. All right, so that looks about good. It's got some bits down there, but you see how most of it is starting to get nice and brown and delicious. So we're gonna start adding the veggies. Now with the rice. Now that the rice is in there, you wanna turn it to medium-high. So about a medium-high. Now you're gonna let this rice dry. And what I mean by dry is you're gonna let it come up to where you see no more water. It's just gonna be rice, but I'll show you when it's ready. Okay, so this is ready. This is browned enough. So we're gonna go ahead and add our sofrito. So our onion and bell pepper and garlic. We're gonna add all that good stuff in there. Now this is, of course, recao, which is culantro. It's not cilantro, it's culantro, it's different. And now we're gonna saute this for a couple minutes, but keep moving it, okay? You don't want it to burn. Ooh, it's looking good, smelling good. It's gonna be delicious. Now see, I don't know if you can tell, but the temperature went down, and that's what I mean. If we would have added all this together, it would have got soggy. Get those bits because those are good. Now you're just letting this go until the onions get nice and translucent. Look how delicious this looks, guys. And you see over here, the rice is starting to lose the water. Don't mix it, don't do anything with it. Just let it get dry, okay? So now the onions are nice and translucent. It's been about 5 to 6 minutes. Now I'm gonna add the tomato sauce. You don't need the whole can, maybe about 3/4 of the can, that's what's left. Now we're gonna mix all that in there. It's starting to get so yummy. I'm gonna go ahead and put the whole can in. Now we're gonna let that go for another couple minutes, okay? Okay, so look, this is what I mean by when it comes dry, right? So now we're gonna mix it. You're gonna cover it and put your heat on low. You're gonna put it on low around there, but if you have a gas stove, just put it on low. And now you're gonna let the rice go for about 30 minutes. So I remembered that I have a little bit of cilantro left, and that's the great thing about these kind of beans. You can pretty much put anything that you find in the fridge. So I'm gonna add a little bit of it, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and add the cilantro. I just chopped it up. I gave it a rough chop. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it before it. I wanna use everything up in my fridge. We really wanna do the zero wasting now that everything is happening, guys. By the way, I really hope that you're doing good during this time. I know it's a hard time, and I'm praying for you, and I just hope that you guys are okay, that your family's okay, and I just send a lot of love your way. So at this point, This has been going for a while, about 10 minutes altogether. So I'm gonna go ahead and add olives. This is something you don't have to put, it's optional. A lot of these things are optional, but the traditional one had olives. This is manzanilla or alcaparrado, either one. I'm gonna go ahead and add some. And a little bit of the juice. This looks so good. It smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. We're gonna add the sazon. 1 packet. We're gonna add the pumpkin. And if anyone is Puerto Rican out there, you know that's the best part. We're gonna mix all this up. Now you got a lot of stuff going on. It's gonna be so delicious. And this is called, in Puerto Rico, this is all like a sofrito. And this is pretty much what makes the food. Gives it a lot of flavor. But here I made my own sofrito, but if you have some, I like to add a little bit of regular sofrito. It's the kind that comes in a little plastic container in the freezer section of your supermarket. I'm gonna show you. This is the sofrito right here. This one's from Goya. I think this is the only one, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna take a little piece out of here too, and I'm gonna add it. About a piece like this is fine for the sofrito. Just a little bit. You can leave it out if you want because we made our own sofrito. You can add it, it's up to you. It'll be good without it also. Now, before we add the beans, we're gonna add some seasonings. So I like to add garlic powder, not garlic salt. Garlic powder, because you don't want it too salty because of the bacon. Oregano. Now I'm gonna leave the salt for after we add the water so we can taste it before we add the salt. Okay, so it's ready for our beans. This is just regular red kidney beans. You can use pink beans, whatever you like. You're gonna add the beans. I'm gonna add, just to get all that good stuff on the bottom. Okay. And we're gonna mix it up. And we're gonna add some more water. You don't have to add a lot of water, just enough water so that the pumpkin will have time to cook. But look at this, guys. Doesn't this look delicious? It has all kinds of stuff in there. It's actually really good for you. And it's so delicious. Another thing I'm gonna do right now is rectify the seasoning. I didn't put any salt, but that's because of the bacon. Voy a probarlo. It's already, hasn't boiled and it's already so delicious. I think it needs a touch of salt, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit because we can always add more if we need some. Maybe about half a teaspoon. I'm gonna mix it up. I'm also gonna add some pepper in there. This is of course optional, you don't have to add it. I like to add pepper and salt pretty much to everything. I feel like it rounds out the flavor. Get a nice little mix. Okay. Once we turn this, we're gonna turn it up high. And then once it boils, we're gonna turn it down. We're gonna cover it and we're gonna let it simmer for about 45 minutes. And we'll be back for the taste test. Hi guys. I know you guys see me in a different outfit, but it's just because I took a shower. It's still the same day. So everything looks really good. I'm gonna go ahead and do the taste test. I'm just gonna put a little bit of rice. And look at that. Look at that, guys. Look how good that looks. So good. Okay. All right. So it's a little hot. That's really how I like it. I like for the pumpkin to hold its texture, because you can have it really soft and it'll thicken up the sauce. A lot of people do that, but I like to still have a little crunch in mine. It's so good. It's just like my grandma used to make it. I really hope you guys give this recipe a try. And thanks for watching. See you next time.